I've been doing performing for around 20 years now. I started actually longer. My first ever performance was in front of my grade 3-4 primary school. I went out with a pair of red Rio jocks and a long stick and done a hunting dance. It was the first time I ever performed. And then not long after that we started up a dance group called Koori Youth Bull Shakespeare's. They're still going now, so I'm an original member of that and an original member of One Fly Dance Group. I still dance with both. At the moment I've sort of slowed down a little bit now because I'm starting to get a family and need a steady income. But I still maintain the dancing and stuff like that. The bonus is I've got to travel around the world through my dancing. I've been to South America, I've been to Chile, Peru, Canada, New Zealand. I actually missed out on Dubai earlier this year. The beauty is when you're going into a school, you actually change the perception of the young kids that are in there. And because, especially living in Melbourne, a lot of Aboriginal people, you walk down the street, and you still get it today, you walk down the street and people will either cross the road or they'll clench their handbag. It still happens today, which is very disappointing. I could be walking down styled up like this and they'll still do it to me. So getting into the schools and teaching them young that this is who we are, this is what we do, and we'll be here and continue doing it. And it changes their perception. This is what I've noticed, it changes the kids' perception. Because they're the next generation, they're going to be the next lawyers, next judges, next politicians, the next everything. So if we can get in and teach them, our culture and show them that, we ain't the people that sit in the park and drink all day and every day and fight and stuff like that. That we are successful people. A lot of them don't see in between the athletes and the parkies. A lot of them don't see the in between, like us in between. A lot of them don't see it. So opening their eyes up to that is really good. I absolutely love it. The best thing is when I go to high schools, I always get one heckler. Always, without fail. There's always a minimum of one heckler. Best way to deal with them is when I get to get people up to dance, he's the first one. Yeah, so he's the first one, he's up there, and I try not to say I shame him out, but I open his eyes. And I get him to get up and do a dance, and 9 times out of 10 the whole school laughs at him. I'm not trying to get him up there for the school to laugh at him, I'm getting him up there to teach him. Doing that, I feel really privileged being able to do that. I've got 2 brothers, 4 sisters, and my younger brother, the middle brother, barely knows anything about his culture, and I do. I know heaps, and I don't know it all, but I know, I know enough. As I've been saying, I've been doing this for over 20 years, so I'm really privileged in the fact that I can, I can play the ditch, I can get painted up and do a dance, I can speak in language, I can sing songs in language, I can do that stuff. But my brothers can't, and same as my sisters. So that's sort of, you can say that's sort of the high for me, and then also the low. That my siblings can't do it. So that's sort of there.
But that's also the reality of them to a certain place.
Yeah.
You have that understanding of experience to sort of share and see the differences. But a lot of our community faces is not everyone's really informed or exposed or have an experience of Indigenous lifestyle. So how are you finding that with young kids that come into that circle? Because we have a perception, if you're dark skinned you should know.
Yeah.
And if you're light skinned perhaps maybe not.
Yeah.
But it can really be the reverse sometimes, can't it?
Exactly. 2 of the lads that have started the dance group with me, they're fair skinned. A good example was we were sitting on a train and these people were talking to us, and they're like, "Oh yeah, so what nationality do you use?" And I said, "Oh, I'm Aboriginal." They go, "Yeah, I know what you are. You're Aboriginal, but what do you use to?" And they're sitting there still with their paint on their face, their paint on their arms, and just a t-shirt on. And I'm sitting there, same, t-shirt on, paint on my arms, paint on my face. We're all sitting the same thing, but then they're asking if they're Aboriginal or not. So it's that, as you were saying, it's that thing of white skin, so I'm not Aboriginal. One thing that really stirs boils my blood is when they say that the real Aboriginals are in NT or up in the northern parts of Australia. That really boils my blood. Because we are Aboriginal, doesn't matter whether I'm light skinned, whether I'm dark skinned, whether I'm Aboriginal. I'm a Koori. I'm also a Murray as well, from my mum's side. But what I say to them, especially when other black fellas say it to me, I always turn around and say it to them. Well, if it wasn't for us, we'd be the dark. If it wasn't for us, you'd be the light skin, and we'd be the dark skin, because we bore the brunt of everything that happened. That's really I'm drifting off, ain't I?
No, that's fine. And I've got a mate, Ringo Hood.
Yep.
And he talks about that, and he says, no matter how much milk you put in the coffee, it's still coffee.
Exactly. Yep.
It doesn't really
Beautiful way to say it.
It doesn't matter to me.
Yep. Oh, well, myself, I've got Irish, Scottish, and obviously Aboriginal, and I've also got American Aboriginal. Yeah, because when I went over to Canada, that's what I found out. They actually call themselves Aboriginals. They don't call themselves American Indians. They're American Aboriginals, like we're Australian Aboriginals. And just every time I say it, I always cringe. It was really good to find out when I went over there. So it was really awesome.
They face a very similar plight, don't they?
Yes, exactly.
They've been through the same thing of colonialism and settlement and dispossession. They're living on those reservations over there in a lot of ways.
Yep.
Well, I guess around these learning stones, it really creates a space where we can sort of sit down and have those conversations and share all of that and take people. It's so wide and so broad, giving people at their own, at their own pace or their own understanding to actually come into the space where we can actually have those conversations. And as I said before, we all should come in as students, kind of being willing to learn. I think that's part of our history. If we look at it, in our culture, we used to come to gatherings and meetings and corroborees around that board where we'd sit down and we'd learn from each other. We'd go in there with that expectation or that mindset to listen and to learn and go away refreshed and energised and charged from that. And I think it's something that's starting to lack in our communities. We come in with a mindset or an understanding that, okay, I know what's going on. And we're not willing to be open to learn new things. And I think once you realise that you're a student, doesn't matter how young or old you are, and that life is life learning. For as long as you're around, you should always be learning and changing and engaging. That sort of gives you that freedom to invite different people into the space for those sorts of things.